So I was thinking, well, why don't I set up a fund or some funds aside to buy a Tesla? And I'm going to make a rule for myself that I'll only buy a Tesla with my gains. So I'm not going to buy a Tesla with the principal balance. I'm going to buy a Tesla with just the pure gain. So in this video, we're going to talk about which Tesla I'm going to buy. I will need to figure that out. How much capital I need to set aside, the amount of gain I need to make within the next 3 years or so, and how many investments I need in order to achieve that. So this video is really about financial planning. And then once I make my first investment, I'll make another video. And once I make my second investment and so on, I'll make another video. And I'll keep you posted on my progress. Now, before we start, I just want to celebrate another successful case study within Investing Accelerator, where Carolyn made 36.75% from FedEx in 5 months. So that's an amazing return. Good job, Carolyn, and congratulations. Now, I know 98.2% of you haven't subscribed yet, so it would really help me out if you just hit the subscribe button. It's free, and you can always change your mind in the future. Now, in terms of the 100 likes giveaway, I'm going to be giving away the Insane Mode. Now, this is the book I'm just showing you right here. I'm actually reading it. I'm around halfway through it. It's written by actually a Tesla employee, so it's actually quite interesting. If you like Tesla, I would suggest you to read this one and also another book from Elon Musk on how he became the Iron Man. Okay, so let's get started. Let's decide on a first Tesla, figure out what the dream car is, and then we'll work backwards to figure out how much investment is needed in order to get this with just the gains alone. Maybe it's a ridiculous number. I don't know. So the purchase price here is around 52,000 Canadian, includes potential saving, then it's 38,000. But to be honest, if I'm buying something, then you really should just look at the purchase price and not the savings, because that's counting into the gas and so on. But then if I'm looking at cash outflow, it's going to be 52K. Now, in terms of rear wheel drive versus dual motor all wheel drive, chances are I do want the dual motor because it's actually safer to drive if there's snow, because Vancouver is technically a cold place relative to California, but it's kind of warm compared to everywhere else. Okay, so I moved myself in the upper left corner, so then you can kind of see the purchase price and how much money I actually need to invest to get there. And I'm going to click next. And well, in terms of color, I do want, let's say, either black, not gray. Blue looks pretty good as well. Red, not really. So I'm either going to choose black or white. Black looks cooler, but white is more conservative. And for wheels, white wheels doesn't look that good. Okay, so I want black wheels, black car. That's actually really intense. Okay, we'll go with a white one for now. And interior, let's do white as well. I think that is more space looking. It looks like the SpaceX suit. Okay, moving on. And in terms of autopilot, this is really the reason why I want to buy a Tesla. So I want full self-driving capability, which adds another 10K to the price. Great. And now we're closer to 76,000. And okay, so this is the Tesla I am looking for. So if I'm using cash to invest, then it will be $76,000. If I'm leasing, then it will be around $800, $700 a month. And if I'm loan, then it's around $800 a month as well. Now, when it comes to this video series, I'm really looking to make enough to cover the $76,000. I might eventually choose the lease option when I'm buying it, but I want to have that amount of cash available upfront. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. I mean, technically, if I just do $800 a month, I can figure out probably I can just invest enough to cover the lease costs. We'll do a model based on both scenarios, and then we'll decide what's better. But ideally, for this video series, I really want to just cover the 76K using gains, because it is supposed to be a 2-year journey or whatever. Yeah, so we'll go from there. Okay, so that is enough research for today, and we'll go from there. We talked about, the dream Tesla that I'm looking for, which is a Model 3, it's around $76,000 Canadian, or it's 800 a month. So I'm going to do the financial projection and figure out how much money I need to invest and save to get there. So here I have an Excel, which is what accountants usually start with, and the cost is $76,890. Now, when I'm buying this Tesla, I'm really not in a rush, and I realized I actually didn't include the cost to install a charging station in my home or future home, but we'll ignore that for now and just go with the price of the Tesla. So my first option is really, pay in full price. Now, this is really what I want to cover all in one go. It's kind of ambitious, or I can do the lease option. Now, if I'm doing the lease option, it's probably much easier to achieve, blah, 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 so on and so forth. And here it's actually the monthly cost. So monthly is $800. Now I just rounded it down to make it easier for myself. No, well, it's just $10 difference. So I think we're all good. So on an annual basis, 800 times 12. So it's $9,600 a year Canadian in order to get a Tesla Model 3. So I can either do it all in one go, 76, or I can do it yearly. So let's think about that. Okay, so let's think about how much capital I need to invest. Now for myself, my goal is really to make around 30% a year. So that's the assumption I'm going to be using. So that's my return. Okay, and then for cost, I want to use 3 years. 3 years, so then my investment can grow, and then I might be getting it in 3 years. For lease, it's going to be a different situation because I'm going to try to achieve that in 1 year. Okay, so if I'm getting 30% a year for 3 years, then what I'm really looking for is to almost double my money. So the way it works is I'm going to calculate a cumulative return, and then I'm going to equals 1 plus 30%, and then to the power of 3. So you can see that I double my money slightly, and then it's actually 2.2. So 220 minus 100%, then that's 120%. So that's if I get exactly 30%. So that means if I want to invest capital, so capital, let's say I'm going to put $75,000 for my capital, which means I could have bought it today or whatnot. So I'm going to use a dollar sign because I'm anal, like an accountant. And so that means at the end of 3 years, I'm going to have $164,000 using 75K, and then I can get a Tesla. Now, if I am using $164,000 and I take out the Tesla costs, I have $87,000, 885 bucks left. And if I minus the capital as well, then it's going to be $12,000 of surplus. And this is probably sufficient to pay for a Powerwall if I want one, to pay for a charging station. That's probably something I need. So I think let's stick with this surplus for now. If I want to have less surplus because I want to get it earlier than it's 2.75, then you'll see that the surplus goes down to around 2,000. So that means I'm thinking 3 years ahead to get my Tesla, which I think it's fine. I mean, ideally I want to get it tomorrow, but we'll just have to wait and invest. Now, if I'm going down the lease path, then it'll be slightly different because I'm really looking at the payment over a period of time. And if that is the case, then what I really need is sort of the capital to generate a return such that it covers this cost on an annual basis. So that means I would need to calculate the annual return in dollars, which is going to be whatever capital I use times 30%. And let's say I put down 30,000. Okay, that's about right. 40,000. All right. Which is pretty good. 40,000. So I'm actually using less capital. I'm more efficient because I don't need to pay it all in one go. Yeah, so that's probably more than enough. I can probably go with 35,000. And this means I would have a surplus of approximately $900 each year. So that means if I invest, I get 30%, I can get a surplus of $900 after I get my Tesla. That's quite interesting. But I probably need to build in some buffer because my return is not going to be the same every year. So if you think about this scenario, right, it is really instead of putting in the money to buy a Tesla, I have some capital to invest, get some sort of cash flow. Well, it's not really cash flow because my strategy focuses on capital gain. And then once I exit, then I'll use that to pay off the lease. So essentially, if I'm investing $35,000, then I pay off the lease with the gains. So over a period of time, I would just pay it off with the gains. Now, one thing I probably have to consider is inflation. So that means technically I would use 27%. The effect is minimal. It's only $1,000 difference. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. So I think we can stick with 30% for simplicity. But inflation is definitely one of the factors I need to consider as well. And also, of course, the charging station, which I don't think is that much money. So let's think about this. So you can see that the amount of capital I need for 35,000 for lease, it's a lot less than full price, which is 75,000. Okay. And I'm just trying to decide which plan I want to go with because I don't have an immediate need to drive a Tesla yet. So chances are I'll probably go with plan A, which is full price. But because I am a YouTuber, I have a business or whatnot, then I can technically deduct the lease costs for buying a Tesla because I would drive it around for work. So this will give me a bit more tax advantage. And this will also delay the cash flow that I incur versus the full price. So chances are this is a better deal and this is what I'm actually going to go with. But for the video series, I'm going to aim to make around $76,000 using 75K. I think that'll be interesting. This might be a 3-year journey. But in terms of when I'm purchasing, I'll be going with this plan because paying $800 a month will ease on the cash flow. So then it just gets paid off over a period of time. So let's start with an investment capital of $75,000. And then we'll get 30% a year. And we'll go from there. So this is a capital I'm willing to allocate to buying a Tesla. And if I think about this, if I need to earn 8% a year and earn enough gain for it, how many years would it cost for me to get there? So this is 8%. So I would make around $6,000 for the first year. And then this will bring my balance up to around 81,000. And then I'll keep dragging it down going forward. Let me just fix that formula. So this is actually quite interesting because I want to know what happens if I invest in the S&P 500 for it. So if I'm investing in S&P 500 for it and I actually need $800 a month, so if I invest $100,000, that will actually get me pretty close to paying off the Tesla just by investing in S&P 500 and not worrying about it. I guess that's one alternative, which I can pursue. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to focus on getting 30% return. And over a course of 3 years, then I should be able to make enough money to pay for the Tesla, since I'm not in a hurry to buy it today. So 89,000. So that means with $75,000, this is really a part of my bigger portfolio where I have more money to invest in, but I'll put aside 75K to grow and save up for a Tesla, which I think is fairly reasonable. So in this case, I'll split this into 3 investments. And you know, when a lot of people think, well, there's some magic in terms of portfolio allocation or whatnot. And on a portfolio level, I have around 10 stocks. So with 10 stocks, it's already fairly diversified. I'm happy with that allocation. So at this 75K level, I don't feel like I need to be as diversified. So I'm just going to focus on buying 3 investments. And assuming they're equally good, that means I'm going to invest 25K each. So in the next video, it'll probably take a while. It's not going to be immediate because I'm going to start looking for an investment and I'll be investing at the right time I'll be waiting. I'll be, browsing different stocks. Well, unless it is the right time and the right criteria, I wouldn't be investing. So I'll let you know once I made my first investment. So as we wrap up the first video, I just want to share a quote with you. It's one of my favorite quotes from Elon. Is that when something is important enough, you'll do it even if the odds are not in your favor. And that really resonated with me because when it comes to investing, I knew I had to master investing. And it is something important enough that even if the odds are stacked against me, I had no knowledge, no mentor or whatever, I had to master investing. And my vision for myself is really to make 30% a year. And when I first started, I sucked. I made less than 10% a year. I was spending 20, 30, 40 hours a week on investing. I was studying alone. There was no one to teach me. And I spent 8 years to master investing. And now I have a simple, profitable, and proven strategy. And now I only spend around 1 to 2 hours a week, and my target return is around 30% a year. And I condense everything I know into Investing Accelerator, which is a 4 weeks coaching program. And some of the case studies from the program include Carolyn, where she made 36.75% from FedEx in 5 months. So once again, congratulations, Carolyn. Good job. And if you want to learn more, then you can go to the first link in the description and click on the free webinar, How to Get 30% from the Stock Market in 12 Months. So this will bring you to the free case study page on my website, and you can register for this 4-hour webinar where I explain to you how I invest. And this is also how I invest when it comes to this video and for my future investments as well. So if you want to get a Tesla using your own investment money, then this may interest you. So I'll see you inside.